Today we're speedrunning Thief Simulator. Now our speedrun starts with our character entering someone's yard, and this is the first house that the game wants us to steal from. It's also just going to be the tutorial, so it's trying to teach us stuff. We're not going to listen to it at all though. We will get this crowbar and we will put it in our hotbar, but then after we break this thing, instead of doing the tutorial, what we can do is just jump on that fence, jump over there, and skip this completely. It doesn't really give us that much experience or money, so just not worth doing. And we end the mission as soon as we start it, which is really funny. Now we're just gonna go in here, we'll keep talking to this person. Oh, and by the way, the person trying to talk to us is Vinny, and he explains that a family called the Lombardis got us out of prison, and now we have to repay them by doing jobs for them. So we'll go check the computer, see the Steal Your forums, and this place you can buy tips on how to steal from a house, like this first one, where it's basically there's just nobody going to be there. And that means we're gonna enter our car and go over to that first house because they want us to steal a TV. Now with this, we're gonna go around back, and I also want to be extremely fast here because we are in a little time crunch. I do want to visit 2 houses in this one day. So what I'm going to do is come to this fence, hit it with our crowbar, open up our trunk, and then we can go through there. Now we can break this window because we know nobody is in this house, and take this old TV, throw it over the fence so we can go a little bit faster because you can't walk as fast when you do have something big in your hands. And we can start our car back up. Now that was all we needed to do for the story, but we do want to get some more experience and money right away, so we're going to be heading over to house 102. And basically how this game works is all the NPCs go off of the time of day, and we know that one of the NPCs in this house leaves the house at 9 p.m. so we can wait by their door. They're going to start coming towards here, and we can enter their house as soon as they come out and they somehow don't notice us. So we're just going to steal their stuff. We know that nobody's going to be in this house, and yeah, we're just going to be able to do it freely. I'm going to take this TV and any big items like that you do want to put in the trunk. Then I'm going to come in here, store some stuff because we don't have enough storage space just in our hands just yet. And we can head back here because there's some more stuff we got to steal. Now in the early game, the money and the experience grind is very specific. So I have a route planned out where I have everything that I need to get. And if we miss anything, it kind of just messes up the speedrun. So I got to make sure I actually steal everything we need to steal. We can come over here, we take this controller, then there's only a couple more things. We can take this, that's another controller, come to this desk. On there, there's going to be some money along with this necklace, and then we can crouch down and get this iPad, and we're good to go. This is a house you usually don't come to way later, but we also did take their keys, so when we do need to come back here for the story, we can just enter right away. And once we make it out there, we're going to want to go to the pawn shop, and you'll see we get a ton of experience, and we're going to be able to make a ton of money by selling all this stuff to the pawn shop guy. So I will go and do that. Some of this stuff we can't sell yet for whatever reasons they have. And I also want to use this experience to start getting a ton of skills up, things like my backpack so I can carry some more stuff, and just general upgrades so we can unlock different items. After that, I get my stuff from the storage because we do have the extra storage space, and we can just sell these guys too. And yeah, that's a very good start of the game, and also a really funny way to start the game. Like, how did that person not notice us just going straight through them? But that's what you gotta love about these types of simulator games. And now what I want to do right here is buy 3 different kinds of lockpicks because we're gonna need them all, and come over here, sell our old TV before then going to rent a thug, and we're going to take every single one of these jobs. Now you don't actually have to do all of them, so we're only going to do specific ones, but that's going to be another way we can get some early game money. After that, I want to sleep till 7 a.m. and as soon as we wake back up, we're going to come straight out to this safe and put all the extra stuff in here because we do want the extra storage space. It just weighs us down too much to have that stuff for right now. But we got to head back over to Greenview, and now it's time to do some more story missions. So we chose this time specifically because the second house we need to hit has a person that you need to go and scope out at 7 a.m. Now what I'm going to do is park right here, that way I can jump on top of my car and then just jump over that gate extremely easily. We know that there's going to be nobody in this house, so we can just break everything we want, including these dishes, which you do have to break for the story. Then Vinny tells us now we got to scope out a different person, so I'll go and do that. Make sure I get rid of the crowbar because people don't like you just carrying around a crowbar for some reason. And we got to check on this person, which we can mark them, and the game wants us to wait for them to leave, but you don't actually have to do that. As long as I'm not running or anything, I can just come over here, use one of my lockpicks, make sure it doesn't break on me. Vinny calls us again, is like, oh yeah, steal the stuff from this guy. And he actually screams and is like, dude, you just entered my house and stole my stuff. And he calls the police. But thankfully for us, even though the police are here, they're not very good at their jobs. So all I have to do is run over to this border and we can just leave the police that easily. Yep, we get the job done. Not sure how they weren't able to find me when I was just on my feet, but I guess they just gave up. It's not in their jurisdiction. So we can head back here, go ahead and sell that stuff. That's going to make Vinny happy. And he tells us to go back out. This time we're going to be driving over to 112 and I'm just going to put my car right here so it's kind of out of the way and also on the sidewalk. We're not really going to worry about where it is right now. If someone does try to walk by it, it will be suspicious for them, but we see that there's nobody by it and we also don't care about the police getting called on us this time because as you can see, I'm breaking through their lock while they're still in their house. And then I come over here, I'm going to smash their window, go inside their house. These people are terrified, just steal completely from them and also break this painting because that's some extra money we can get. And the reason we can do this is it takes the police so long to get over here, so we know we're fine. And yeah, kind of just like last time, we just run over to the border and that's all we got to do. We'll head to the pawn shop. Yeah, a lot of these early game missions are easy like that, but once we get later on, we will have to use a bit more complicated strategies. But before we go out to our next mission, I do want to come over here and do the exact same type of lock, but the game does stop you from progressing until you do this, but that's going to be that lock done. Vinny's like, all right, go ahead. And this time we're going to go to 113, which we know that all the residents of this place are out from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we're just going to be good to go over here. Now I will want to make sure I don't run this person over with my car because that is an instant loss, but we're going to back up. We know no one's here, so we're not even worrying about it. And as long as our car isn't on the sidewalk or the street, nobody's going to call the police on us just for having our car there. I guess this is just a normal place to have your car, but it's time to get a ton of money. Especially because there's nobody here. We're just free to get absolutely whatever we want. Like this router, we're going to go in this desk, get that remote and the money. And yeah, I've played this game a lot and that's how I've memorized where all these things are. It's a little bit stressful because this route is so specific that if you miss one or two things, you won't have enough money for later. So I got to make sure I take everything. We're going to get that wine. And there are people outside, so I want to make sure they don't see me stealing from this person's house. They're usually not the biggest deal, but we're kind of just paying attention to that. Then I can come over to this toilet, hit it with my crowbar. We'll take this phone too. Before going over here, we can increase our backpack size because we do have the levels. And we do want to get a couple more things like that router over there. We'll come over here and get 2 hard drives. And finally, there's going to be a TV in this closet. So we bring that over to our car because it can always carry 3 things. You can see that in the bottom right. And we'll just drive out of this place without a single person noticing that we were here. And that's both going to be a ton of experience for us and also a ton of stuff to sell in the pawn shop. So yeah, we're really just grinding experience and money along with doing all the story missions. Next up is 104. And for this one, you kind of have to hope you get lucky, because the fastest way to do this is by parking straight on the sidewalk. So we have to hope that nobody's going to try to walk through this sidewalk while we're here. Otherwise, they call the police because they really don't like people parking on their sidewalks. But yeah, we're come over here. We got to open that door. And of course, we're just stealing some more stuff. This time, they have a very nice painting. And I also love this part where you could just throw it into the car. And yeah, I just have a really good shot with that. Then we'll come over, take all the stuff that's going to be on this counter. And there is one person in this house right now, but they're in a room that we never go to, so we're not too worried. I just want to make sure I'm not sprinting or anything. After that, we'll come over to this cabinet, take all that stuff, and get this speaker. And this is a little bit heavier, so we actually will have to walk down with it all the way over to our car. Before the final couple of things, we take that. We're going to slowly open these drawers just to make sure we don't get caught by the person in the house. And there's also going to be a camera in there. Before heading down here, and I am just paying attention, seeing if anyone notices me. We're being a little bit loud. You can see by like the white bar that's on the side of the screens. So now someone heard us, but we're going to be able to make it out of here before they're able to catch us. We break that window because that's the story mission, and we can leave with the car. So yeah, they kind of heard us, but I guess they just thought that their cat knocked over something and it caused that crash because yeah, that was easy. Again, we get to sell a bunch of stuff in the pawn shop, and this time we actually want to head home for a second because we want to look at the rent-a-thugs and make sure we get those. Next up is going to be 108, and for this one, thankfully, they actually have a lawn. So I don't have to worry about parking in the way of anybody. I can just park my car directly on their grass and open up our trunk. Then I just got to make sure on my map that nobody's currently looking at us so we can break through their house. And in this one, there's also going to be another person that is in this house, so we want to be a little bit quiet. But what I'm going to do at the beginning is throw these two things out of the house. That way we can get those heavy items later. And then I'm going to pick up those headphones, some money, and also this kitchen phone. Then we have to head upstairs, and here's where the person can catch you if you're not careful. So I'm going to come over here into this. I steal someone's piggy bank. You kind of feel bad about that. But then you realize they also have a bottle of wine right by their bed. So maybe they're not like a young kid that you kind of think they are. Anyways, we break that because that's going to be one of the Rent-A-Thugs things. We can take that. And then we have to open this living room door. Not sure why they locked this place, but I guess I actually do know. It's because they have a huge TV over here. And that's going to be our story mission, the thing we actually have to get. But along with getting that, I also want to get everything on this drawer. We can throw that out the window. We can come over here, get a couple more things of money. And then I want to open these guys slowly. That way nobody will hear. We're going to take all of these hard drives before we make sure there's nobody immediately out the window, because they will call the police at you if they do see you jumping out. It's kind of rude. And even if they do kind of hear us at this point, or if anybody sees us moving stuff outside the car, as long as we're not holding it for too long, they won't actually call the police on you. So we're pretty safe at this point. We just pick up all our stuff and we're heading out nice and easy. I love how we never close our trunk, by the way. You know, these things could fall out, but they're probably not going to. And we only have a couple more houses to hit before we're on to the next neighborhood. But of course, like usual, sell all this stuff. And this time we're going to do 107. And for the first time in a long time, we actually have to change the time of day. So I'm going to sleep in my car until 8 a.m. Now, 107 is a pretty funny way to get in. What we're going to do is walk over here, and you can see that there are people by us, which I don't want them to catch me. So I will wait this out a second just to make sure they won't catch me or call the police or whatever. And as soon as I am out of their line of sight, we can go through. And now we don't have to worry about anyone seeing us. So I can break those glasses because that's going to be a request. I take those wines, and then we're going to make it in here, which we do have to open another lock. Now, once we're in here, there's a couple things we want to get, and I also want to make sure nobody sees me, so I'll get out of their way. Thankfully, even if they do see you in the house, as long as you just get away from their line of sight, they're like, oh, I guess it was my imagination. Not going to call the police or anything like that. Yeah, these are not the smartest people in the world, but I take a bunch of money and a bunch of stuff. Then we come over here, and the thing about this house is they have tons of phones and electronics everywhere, so that's just a ton of money for me. We can come over to this spot, take that damaged phone, come inside this drawer where there's going to be a USB stick and some more money. Then we can come up here. There's going to be this router, and then another phone in that drawer, and then another phone on this couch. Why do they have so many phones? But finally, over here, we just take a couple more of these things. We come over here, take this bracelet we need to get, and the final thing we need to do is come over to the bathroom, destroy this toilet, and that's everything done. So we can escape by jumping out this window, jumping onto that little umbrella thing, and just getting out of there. And it is going to be faster to just run away rather than going and getting our car. So that's just what we're going to do. Yep, pretty funny house. Gotta love that one. And this time we're heading home. Now, while we're here, what I'm going to want to do is get a couple of these upgrades so we can get some car theft and things like electronics. And with that, I can then buy the jewelry and safe cracking tools, along with getting a couple more of these jobs just to make sure we get all that money. And then we'll head over to our safe where we left one of these bracelets, and we can use the jewelry tools. So with this, all you have to do is just click on the jewelry and just unscrew it. It's actually the easiest mini game of all time. So we're going to do this with two different bracelets. And we have to do this because the pawn shop guy won't buy jewelry unless you have disassembled it like this, because he doesn't want stolen stuff, or at least clearly stolen stuff. Then we can also come to the safe. And for this mini game, what you have to do is listen in on the safe. And we're going to move this slowly. And pretty much at any time, you can see that the sounds get higher. And that means we're right by the right number. So we want to stop there and not go past it. Then for the third number, you can just go as fast as possible because we know the third one will stop us once we make it there. And now for the next one, we will want to take that front door key we got all the way at the beginning of the run. And we're also going to head to the pawn shop because with all this jewelry and everything else we have, that's going to be a ton of money for us. And then we're going to finish out Greenview by hitting 3 houses in a single night. Well, at least after we go home, one more time, because with that extra money, we can buy the car lockpick gun, and we'll also sleep till 11 p.m. Now for this night, what we want to do is back up our car into the 101 house. So I will just do that. They got this gate right here, but as long as we're right there, that's good to go. We're also going to open our trunk, but we're going to be coming back to this house later because we do have to stop at 102. Of course, we already have the house key for this house, and we know that nobody's going to be here, so I can just freely go around their house, run through it, and break all their stuff. It does tell us heard by tenant, but they never come out, and I don't think there's actually someone here, so I'm not exactly sure what that is. But time to do some safe cracking, which pretty easy stuff. As soon as I hear the higher amount of noise, we know to stop, and for the third one, we can just go completely through. It's easy stuff. So I'm going to take everything that is in that safe, nice and easy, and I also will close the door behind me, and that just makes sure if anyone does come back, they're not going to call the police, because if anyone sees an open door, then they'll know someone stole from them, and they'll call the police after that. So we just want to make sure that doesn't happen. But now the game's going to introduce cameras, so you can mark them and see where they'll catch you, and if you get in that red area, then instantly the police get called on you. So we have to make sure we don't get hit by that. I also went ahead and I opened the gate out there, and I'm going to throw that TV by there and also take all the stuff that's going to be on this table, except for the video game console, because it just weighs too much. Then we can come over to this safe, do some more safe cracking, and here there's going to be 2 more pieces of jewelry, and then we can come to this painting, destroy that for one of our requests, come inside this thing where there is going to be that phone, go over to the kitchen, there's going to be some money, and then we're heading upstairs where we want to be kind of quiet. Now for this one, in this bedroom, first of all, there's going to be money on this table along with his piggy bank. Over at this drawer, we can open that slowly, and there's going to be that phone, and then over here there's going to be 2 controllers. And then there's going to be another nice big TV that we do want to take with us, but we'll kind of deal with it later, so I just throw it down the stairs, and thankfully it doesn't break. And in this place, there's going to be another one of these drawers, some money right there. There's going to be this guitar we want. We want to destroy these glasses and take that money. And then another safe we got to get. Again, tells us heard by tenant, but they never come up here. So I'm not sure if they're at the house or exactly what's going on, but I'm not going to worry about it. And this one gives us tons of stuff along with the story mission stuff, so I will make sure I take that. Then we can exit through this top window, and all we have to do is take these 2 TVs over to our car. Oh, one thing you can also do is kind of juggle the TV so you can move a bit faster by throwing it in the air, running a little bit, and doing that. Kind of just a fun thing to do. But there is one more house we have to hit, and it's this one we came to earlier. But I'm not actually going to hit it for too much money. Instead, we just want to steal their car. Now, I will be kind of careful about this house because there are going to be people in it right now, so I'll crouch a little bit, make sure we're not making too much noise. But we did get car stealing tools, so first of all, we can come over here and get rid of the lock. You just have to hold down your mouse button for a while, and eventually it gets opened. Then I can open up the garage door. We can enter this, and then we just have to hotwire the car, which all you have to do for this is just click the different spots, and yeah, we get the thing before they even notice we do. So easiest car stealing of my life. And the nice thing is it still gives us all the stuff that's in our car right now, like those 2 TVs, even though we took a different one. I guess we come back for the old car later or something like that. I don't really know, but that gives us tons of experience. So Vinny is very happy with us at this point, and we can head over here and sell the guitar on Black Bay. Anytime you sell something on Black Bay, it sells for more than it would just at the regular pawn shop. But I do realize I am short a little bit of money. Yeah, sometimes that happens, and not exactly sure why, but not the biggest deal. We can just stop by the pawn shop and sell a couple of things. All right, now we're heading back here, and this time we're gonna buy these hacking tools. And with those, we can go and take all these tablets and stuff that are currently protected by a password. And what we wanna do is just match up those signals so we go through it. Yeah, we just wanna line everything up. That way it goes through the entrance and goes to the exit, you know, pretty simple stuff. And we're doing this with 3 different things. So yeah, not too much to say, just a fun little mini game. And that means we can actually sell those things now. Like for one of these things, we're gonna sell it on Black Bay, and then we wanna head over here where we're gonna go and do a couple more of these bracelets. Now, normally I wouldn't for this game, but just because we were a little bit short on the money, I'm just doing this for safety. I'll put the other bracelet in our storage because we no longer need it, and we'll also put the front door key because we don't need that either. Then we come over, get this box because that's what they gave us, and now they're telling us to go to a different neighborhood called Richie. But before we do that, we come over here, we're gonna take the rent-a-thugs for Richie, and we'll head to sleep until 12 p.m. Oh, one last thing, of course, we're heading back to the pawn shop, selling all this stuff, and now it's actually time for the new neighborhood. You can see that everything's different, and these houses are gonna be a step up in the difficulty. There's usually at least 1 or 2 people at each one of these houses, or at least for a good amount of them. For this first house we have to get to though, as long as we come at this time, we know there will be nobody here. So I'm gonna come over here, jump on my car, and just make it through like that, which is really funny. And we can also take this this laptop. Then I'm going to make sure I mark that camera so we don't actually get inside of it. And with this door, we just use our regular lockpicking skills until there is a bunch of stuff we have to steal from this house. Now I have to remember the right drawers to go through. We take those two, come to the other side and take this top left one. Then over at the living room, there's going to be this white drawer that's going to have a phone. We come to this bottom middle one. There's going to be that. And over on this one with the yellow vase, another one of these phones and this USB stick by the kitchen. Then another safe, so we got to break that. And the safe is nice because it has an antique in it, and antiques sell for so much money on Black Bay, so we really want to make sure we get those. I'm also going to break this clock because that was a request. Then we'll come over to this drawer, open that for a phone, come to this by the table so we can get that headset, and we also place that box in there because that's what the Lombardis wanted us to do for some reason. We'll get this antique poster. Someone will see us trespassing, but all we have to do is crouch down and they're like, oh, I guess it wasn't anybody, you know, I'm not going to worry about it. I guess it's not their problem. And then we'll take a couple more things. Again, crouch down. Just make sure they stop seeing me. These people are the worst neighbors of all time. But we got to make it out of this house. And the easiest way to do that is jump on this rock and deal with this really annoying collision. So try to jump on it again, then jump straight out. And it was that easy. Yeah, these houses are just going to get more and more interesting because there's more stuff we have to do breaking the game. That way we can get in them. But now we're pretty much never going to show back up to the pawn shop again. Well, that's not true. We will show up again at certain points, but for the most part, we're going to leave most of our stuff in storage and sell the things like antiques on the Black Bay store because it's faster than going back to the pawn shop. But we still do want to collect all this stuff because it's going to be good experience for us and we can get level ups like for these things. Now, I do want to come down here and we do have to practice on one of these home alarm systems. Now, we're never actually going to do one of these in the game, which is really funny, but you got to make sure that you only take off the wires that are actually touching the battery. So there's going to be this blue one. We know we're good. Then we have to buy a hidden camera. So I'll just come over here, have to spend $700 on it. Not sure why. I'm doing your jobs for you. You can't even buy me a camera. Oh, I also want to make sure I get one more of these Rent-A-Thug jobs and we can sleep till 11 p.m. So the objective for this story mission is we have to plant a micro camera in someone's house. And the thing about this house is the time we're going at, there's going to be somebody in here and they're going to be in the living room. But we're actually going to use that to our advantage. So I can back up into here just like usual, and I want to make sure I don't back up too much. That way I can open up the trunk, we can get on top of our car, and I just love doing that so much. But then what we want to do, which is really funny, is come over here by the window, and we just want to run backwards and forwards. That way we're detected. Then this person is going to come over to the door, open it up for us, and we can just walk straight through. You want to make sure you walk and not run, because otherwise the guy will detect you. And yeah, we just escaped for the dude. He had no idea, and he goes back to the living room. So while he's walking back, of course, I'm going to steal some more stuff, like everything in the safe. There's a lot of gold watches and stuff in here. Then we'll come over here. There's going to be this antique clock. Over by his hallway, there's going to be a couple of things. So I want to open this left middle drawer. Make sure we do it slowly. I don't know if every time you actually do have to do it slowly, but especially if there's someone in the house, you might as well. And we can open up both the garage and his regular gate. That way we can come through with this antique pot. And thankfully, we can just get it in our car through the gate, which is really funny. But now the dude is going to be in his living room. Thankfully, though, he does not look around at all. So as long as you crouch down and you're not making too much noise, we can plant that micro camera. Then there's a couple more things we have to steal before we're done. I want to make sure I don't make too much noise. Don't want to make this guy suspicious, but we can open up that. There's going to be a keyboard. And over in this room, I'm going to take this laptop. We'll take out that and just destroy that altogether. And I guess he thought it was nothing, or he didn't hear yet again. But anyways, we're also going to take that phone, and that's everything we need from this house. So we're just heading out, same way we came in, or I guess this isn't the same way we came in, a different way. We're going through the garage, but you know, a pretty similar way, and that was the funniest mission yet. Yeah, I gotta love how these people just are not aware of the situation at all. Like, at least go and check on it. Anyways, we make it out the place, and we're going back home. So that gives us a ton of more experience. That means we can get some more upgrades, like the car theft, like this agility, and we'll head over to Black Bay where we can sell all the electronics that we got, and that is going to be a ton of money, especially those watches. And we can also sell the antiques, which again is going to be a ton of money. And yeah, this is why we don't really need too much of the pawn shop anymore. Then I want to go ahead and buy a car key signal cloner and also a glass knife before we head over to the Rent-A-Thugs, check that mission, and we'll sleep until 11 p.m. Now it's time to go ahead and put all of our extra stuff back in our storage, and we're going to Richie again, where this time again we have two houses houses to hit in the same night. And I also want to make sure with this car key signal cloner, I do put it in my hotbar. We're only going to use it a single time for this next house, but it is important because we're getting a very nice car out of this. But I'm going to head through the back of this place, just drive over all this grass. And because we have a good agility level, we can climb up this thing and get in this person's house. Now for here, I just like staying close to the house. That way we don't get detected or anything. And we'll come over to this spot, which we can actually climb up using our agility again. And at this point, there is going to be somebody by the pool. So we want to make sure that we're very quiet. There's also going to be another person who's in the bedroom, but these are places we're not going. As long as we're quiet and they don't notice too much of us, I'm not too worried. But I can see that there's that person, they have their car keys, and we can clone their car, and yeah, we're good to go. We have that now. So after that, I'm coming over here. I can open up this drawer, which is gonna have that lamp. Then I can open up this one for a silver watch, destroy that TV, because that's a request. We'll come to this spot in the hallway, and that's going to be a gold watch. We'll take this clock, and we'll also get this silver watch. Then we'll come into this place where there's going to be an antique book. You gotta love these antiques. They just give us so much money. And that's why we're also going to get 2 more. So we come down into this living room area where there's going to be this antique and an antique statue on the piano before we come over to the car gate switch. Click that. And because we already cloned this car's key, we know that we can just get in it. But before I do want to open the garage up. I want to look and make sure I mark that so they're not able to see us, because there still is one more house we have to get into. And we're going to take this car, which as you can see, very nice car, and now it's mine. So I just want to make sure I don't get detected. Do not drive into that place. And someone did detect us because they were walking out here, but it doesn't really matter. As long as they don't see us for too long and we're no longer in that person's house, we're just fine to go. So we can back up into this person's house again, because we have to pick up that micro camera that we placed down earlier. And we're doing pretty much the exact same strat, where I'm just going to run into this place, get detected. This guy's going to come over to his door, so we can just walk past him, come inside this garage. And I'm kind of just chilling right here while I wait for him to walk back to his spot. There's nothing more for us to steal in this house, so we're just making sure I don't get caught and not really taking anything. But pretty much same thing. We'll just pick this guy up, and that was some pretty good stuff. So what we have to do is leave at this point. But this time we're leaving in style because we have a brand new car. Now you don't actually use these new cars for any of your missions. We more just want it for the experience. But you know, I'm gonna take it. It's still mine as I hit it into a tree. But yeah, that's gonna be a good amount of experience. You see, it gave us 1,300, and we very much need experience because some of the later stuff, which you do need to get, just takes a ton. Now I'm gonna go over here into electronics on Black Bay, sell a couple of things along with these antiques. Of course, that's gonna be another $16,000 or even more with that other thing too. It's just so much money. And now it's time to head back with our car. Now this time we want to go into the 201 house, which is right by the entrance of this neighborhood, and we're gonna sleep right by them in the parking lot until 7 p.m. Oh, but one thing I did notice is I have a little bit of extra stuff in my inventory. I forgot to put this in our storage, but thankfully we should just be able to drop it, which I accidentally also dropped my crowbar. We'll take that back. But yeah, we'll just drop this extra stuff because we don't need the weight and we don't really need to sell it. And with this clock, just in case, we can put it in the car. I don't think we need it though. Good thing my guy always wears gloves so our fingerprints aren't on it or something like that. But yeah, same old strategy where we're trying to get on our car, but it doesn't want us to. Okay, we'll move it forward a little bit. Yeah, this car has some really weird physics when you're just trying to jump on it. But yeah, pretty simple stuff. We're just gonna jump on that, and then we use this glass thing to get through that window. Now with that, we're in the kids' room. For some reason, they have this bracelet, so I'm gonna take that from them. There's also gonna be this antique violin that's gonna be in that room, and a couple more things that we do have to steal. Now these people do come back after 9 p.m. I think they actually don't come back till 10 p.m. though, because it says on the wiki that they're out from 7 to 9, but I think that 9 is like, you know, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, we're gonna take all that stuff. I think they're out till 10 p.m., so we have our time in this place. And I just want to make sure that I go ahead and get all the stuff. There's gonna be that bracelet, there's gonna be that phone, and there's gonna be an antique chair over here, which of course I'm taking. Now before I open that up, just in case anyone sees me stealing from these people, I want to make sure I get rid of that car alarm. And yeah, you can see there are people on our mini map that are out here, so I want to make sure they do not get mad at me. We'll put that chair inside of our car though, and I'm kind of just waiting for these people. I don't want them to get mad at me. And whatever, we're probably fine. So I'm just gonna go get through this thing. Just like before, we're just gonna hotwire it by doing whatever that is. And yeah, pretty easy way of taking this truck. These neighbors not even looking at who's driving it right now. they just don't care. And yeah, another pretty easy one. Had a little bit of confusing spots, like having to get rid of that stuff, but it works out. So now this time, I'm gonna make sure I put my extra stuff in the storage. And then we're heading right back out into our next mission, where this is another night where we're gonna hit 2 houses at the same time. So first of all, I'm gonna head over to this parking lot and we can rest until 11 p.m. Then we pretty much just wanna directly back up over by this trash can, and we can also open this trunk, then go on our car, jump in through this stuff and kind of fall down. We don't have to talk about it. But second time, jump up here, do it perfectly. And now what I wanna do is just run through here and get into this door. Now there is going to be a camera over here and I want to make sure it doesn't catch me, which, yeah, one of the guards saw me. Okay, not the biggest deal. We'll just load the checkpoint. Yeah, I was a little worried because I was kind of slow with missing the car, but even the world record has to reload the checkpoint one time, so I'm not too worried about it. Anyways, we do this a bit faster this time. I want to check on that. You can see we can just slip in before that, and now we're pretty safe. So now at this point, I want to open up the car gate switch, and pretty much the only reason we're in this house is for a bunch of antiques. First, there's going to be this one in the living room. Then there's this one in this office room. And after that, we're taking this microwave, actually. But not for a reason you think. We don't have to sell it or anything. Instead, there is going to be this light. And it is in a very annoying position where it's going to see us if we try to go up these stairs. Or at least usually it will. But what we can do is place down that microwave, jump on it, and get through those stairs just barely so we don't even have to worry about it. And now we're going in the safe. Yeah, one of the funniest strats of all time. I love doing that so much. Now with this safe, there's going to be one more antique, and we're also heading out through this bathroom window, which, yeah, we're pretty much just home free. I just run through and now we're safe. Well, at least for the first part, because now we have to go over to 207 where we want to steal a painting replica. But this is also a pretty funny strat where you can come up to this gate, and I want to make sure my whole car is very much by it, and then all you have to do is just exit your car, and for some reason they don't check your collision there, so you just go through the gate. After that, we have to head in this shed, and I only have one of these types of lockpicks, so I do have to be a little bit careful with it. It was so close to breaking, but we're good with that. We can go break this guy's gnome because that was a request, and take this replica painting. So yeah, pretty funny stuff. And then we go straight over here where we can put that in our trunk. I'm gonna make sure I don't get hit by that camera, and that's all we have to do for this night. So I just jump off this rock, and then we're running over straight out of the neighborhood. Now our next mission is gonna be the last one for the Richie neighborhood, and the person who's been talking to us this whole time, Vinny, tells us that this is gonna be our last mission. Yeah, he is not being extremely truthful. You'll see in a second. Anyways, before we get there, what I want to do is go and sell all this stuff. We have a ton of antiques. That's going to be a lot of money. And with that, we can buy the hacking laptop. I'm going to make sure I put this in my quick slot. And now it is time for what Vinny says is our final mission. But before we make it there, we're going to buy this hideout, which is $30,000. And definitely no reason we need to do that, right? But now it's time to go ahead and swap the painting in 208 with the replica painting we got in the last mission. Now for this one, you want to come in behind the house. So I'm just driving on this whole place, which at least means there's no one like walking over here. But you have to line up your car very specifically in this place, because if you go too far down this hill, then your car will just keep sliding down because of the physics. And yeah, I've had that happen to me before. It's kind of annoying. But what I want to do is jump on my car just like usual. We can mark that. We can mark this guard. That way we see actually all the guards. It's kind of funny. You only have to mark one of the people in the house to see where all of them are. But as soon as he is turned away, I know I can begin walking through, and there's going to be another one of these locks. Pretty easy to do. All you got to do is move these things down. And because of the time of day, we know that we're pretty safe at this point. So I just got to make sure nobody hears me. Now there is that person down there, so I will just keep my way going. We can see he kind of sees us. I don't think he can catch us, but oh, I should not have ran there. Okay. Kind of my worst decision ever. Not sure why I did that. I mean, maybe we can do this fast enough. Yeah, we get taken out. At least we just load from the last checkpoint. Not the worst time loss, but that one kind of hurts. Yeah, I'm not sure why I was trying to rush that at all. Like, I never have done that before, but I was just like, oh, surely we're not going to get caught. And then it happens on this really good run. Whatever, not a big time loss. Anyways, now at this point, we just got to open up this lock, which is another one of these. They like these old-fashioned locks. And with that, we can open that door, bring this painting in, where you get a little bit of a cutscene. We see our boy coming in with the fake painting, and we're going to replace it with the real one. And now after that, we can take the real one, and all we have to do is escape. So we're going to come out through this window, and we get on a roof, and we can just jump out through here. I don't really care if these people hear me at this point, because I'm home free. No point in getting our our car, it would take way too long and we are on that annoying hill. So we just run all the way away with our painting and we can go home. So at this point, Vinny tells us to send it to him on Black Bay and he promises that will be the last thing we need to do. So we're going to do that. He's like, hey, I'm really proud of you. And he tells us we're done. All we have to do is pick up this extra gift that the Lombardis gave us because they really like us. But unfortunately, as soon as we do pick it up, you'll see it explodes. And yeah, there goes our home. But somehow, even though this entire place got exploded, you can see that our boy is somehow still alive and now he wants his revenge. So that's why we need to buy the hideout, because now we're plotting our revenge in here. And yeah, we no longer have Vinny as our partner. Instead, we're trying to get revenge on him and take out the Lombardis. So this is the industrial neighborhood, and for the first one, we want to visit 303. But before anything else, I will sleep in this car. We'll go until 12 a.m. And now the thing about this neighborhood is pretty much every single house always has guards going through it. So there's never going to be a truly safe time to go in these houses, and we just got to make sure we don't get caught. But of course, there are better times to go in these places, like when the residents are in rooms that we don't really care about. So first thing I want to do is actually get in here, and we can come over to this gate, use our hacking laptop, and hack our way in. So pretty much same type of idea as last time, where I just want to connect those things, and that's going to open up the front gate. And as long as I'm outside of here, the guards aren't actually going to try to attack you. So I know I'm safe for right now. I want to make sure I mark a couple of different things, and we got to get in there. So I'm just paying attention to any guards, making sure they don't see me too much. They did hear us very bad. You can see it's red over in the bottom left corner, but thankfully they did not try to go after us or call the police. So now it's time to take a bunch of stuff. And we're pretty much just trying to get bundles of things that we do need for Black Bay. So like this, I'm going to take that PC screen, we'll take a keyboard, and we'll take this mouse. Then we come to the left a bit, there's going to be another one of these displays, a second one. There's going to be this mouse and also this mouse. Then we come over to this desk, which has the hard drive, which we actually want with the Lombardi stuff, but we got more stuff to steal, all of that stuff, and also another mouse on here. And then finally, we come over to this main room where there's going to be one more mouse, and now we're good to go. So we just got to make it out of this place without anybody trying to attack us. They can kind of detect us, but yeah, I think we're just safe. All right, I'll take it. Oh, okay, they did call the police on us, but as long as I make it out of here, we should be safe. Now, they're coming from that direction, so I think we just go out through here. And yeah, we're good to go. Okay, not the cleanest I've ever done it, but I'll take it. Now we can come back to our hideout, and we want to go to Black Bay, where we just got tons of stuff to sell to this. And that's also why we need to get all those mouses and displays, because you see there are certain bundles which are requesting those specifically. Then with that money we got, we can go and get this hacking PDA, and we can also get the rent-a-thugs for the industrial neighborhood. Then we're coming over here where it's time to do a hack of the Lombardi stuff. Yeah, it really likes doing these hacking mini games in multiple spots, but then we can take that, we can place it on that board, and we'll come place all the stuff we don't need straight in our storage. Next up, we're heading to 301, and we have to steal some account details. But before we go in there, I will head to this parking lot because we want to sleep until 5 a.m. Now we can head backwards, where I'm just going to park in this spot. And again, we're doing the hacking laptop stuff. You've already seen it enough times. I will say though, these puzzles are always pretty fun, at least. Like, they're never that boring. And now pretty much just want to be safe, want to pay attention to where the guards are, and also pay attention to that camera. But it looks like we should be safe as long as we don't go too fast right here. And we can come over to this spot, which is another spot we have to hack. And now once we're actually in this building, we don't have to worry about being loud or anything. We can just run through it. And I'm going to take this cinema camera. I'm going to take all of these things, which is a bunch of software and stuff. We can also go ahead and take this conference phone before heading over to this door, another time to hack. And with this one, there's going to be those blueprints and another safe. The safe is going to have the information we need, and we'll also take that folder. And now I want to make sure I can get out of here safely. So we didn't mark any of the guards before we came in here. And now I'm trying to mark one of them through the windows. So we're kind of just looking for them, which I don't want to just run out there and then get caught. That could be really bad. So there we go. We're able to mark that guy. We can see where everybody is going to be. And now I should just be safe to just run through, and we make it to our car. We're home free. Now this time we want to take that from the box. We want to put all of our extra stuff in storage, and we want to sleep on our couch until 3 a.m. And we have another double building day. This time it's 302 and 303. To start, we're coming up to 302, and we'll hacking laptop it. And once that gate's open, like usual, I'll pay attention to where people are. So we do see this guard over here, and there's also going to be a camera over here. And he doesn't have great eyesight, so I should just be able to run through this, which is kind of funny. But now I will make sure I'm not making too much noise, so I am paying attention to if they do hear me. We can stop anytime they do, and we can just crouch down. But yeah, we're just paying attention, making sure we are good, and coming over to this door, which it's another door we have to hack. Now with this, I get that done. And in this room, there's a ton of stuff to steal. First of all, on these shelves, we just take like 5 different things, all very valuable and worth some money. We'll also take this phone, and there's going to be the silver watch, along with a safe, which we have to break. So this safe is going to have the key card that we do want. So we just want to exit through here, jump out through that other side, and we're good to go. No one cares about us anymore. We're just kind of running through. I just love how oblivious these guards are. It's very fun. And now after that, we're going to head over to 303. Not before we sleep in the car though, until 9 p.m. Now with 303, we can just head in through this door. We'll see that there is a camera there, but we can just barely sneak past it, which is awesome. And there is going to be this guard right here, which thankfully he's not going to come outside, but I want to make sure he doesn't see us. And we have a very funny strategy for this dude. So first of all, I'm going to be able to unlock this door, but we're not going to open it yet because I am going to wait for this guy to go back. Kind of just awkwardly standing there. Come on, dude. Okay. Yep. There you go, buddy. All right. Now we want to slowly open this door and then slowly close that one, and then also slowly close this one. That way they can't tell that anybody snuck in. Now I want to be kind of quiet in this place, but we're going to come over here and we're going to take all of this software, and then we can also come by this computer thing, and there's going to be a watch and some more jewelry. Then after that, we can head upstairs where there's going to be a PC. We come over here and we just break it. And then all the way at the top floor, we know we're pretty safe from any guards, so I'm not too worried about them. And there's going to be a couple of things we want to take. And finally, in this house, we head in through here and we want to hack this, which oh yeah, I forgot to actually upgrade my electronics to level 4, which we need to do for this. That was very dumb. I was sitting there for like a couple of seconds like, did I just do the completely wrong thing? Anyways, we want to hack through that and we're good to go. Now we just have to escape. For this one, we're just going to open this window, jump through it, somehow not break our legs, which is kind of insane. And we just come out the same way we came in. So yeah, pretty fun mission. And all we have to do is run home and go to our hideout. So at this point, only a couple more places we have to go to. And I'm going to take that. We'll place it on that board. Of course, place our extra stuff in the storage. And we're going back to 302, but this time it's pretty simple. We want to hack through their gate like usual and make sure no one sees us. This guy is in kind of an annoying spot, so I'm just going to wait here. Thankfully, he's fine with us just standing here staring at him. But finally, once he turns around, we're just going upstairs the same way we did last time. But instead of going into that building, this time we want to come this way. And I'm just going to run through. I don't really care if they hear us. And yeah, we just make it over here, which is in a pretty different spot. And someone has detected me, but I don't see any guards behind me. So we're just going to take these explosives and try to escape. They will try to find me, or at least they're kind of trying to find me. They're not really doing a good job, but that's all we need to do, and I can just run away. Yeah, these guards, I do not know who's hiring them or why they're hiring them. They're not worth it. But it's second to last building time. For this one, we want to place the bomb right there, and now we're going to 301. But instead of what we did last time, this time we want to come around the side of the place, and we're doing the strategy with the car. And we know because of the time, there are going to be no guards by this spot, so we'll be completely safe. And we can position the car right there, jump up into this stuff, and we're good to go. Now, what I want to do first of all is come into this green spot, and there's supposed to be 2 things in here. I don't know if I have the wrong storage container, because in this one, in the opposite side, there's the cinema camera. Oh, I forgot to check the pin board. You got to be kidding me. Okay, we're loading to the last checkpoint. All right, because I'm a forgetful person, we got to go back to the hideout. And legit, all I had to do is stop by this pin board, place that, and now we can go and do the thing. Now, as you can see, because we actually took the mission, this time there's also going to be the detonator, which is what I was confused about. And oh yeah, we also want to take this too. I was confused on why there's that still, but we did reload from the last checkpoint, so we never technically got that stuff. Anyways, yeah, now we can do everything we need to do, which is just collecting a bunch of stuff. We want to destroy this statue, and yeah, we're just going through. But yeah, that was certainly an interesting time, Oz. Look, this game, it is difficult. There is a lot to remember. and sometimes you just kind of don't. Anyways, we want to take a bunch of valuable packages. We want to take a bunch of cinema cameras, and I pretty much just have to remember every single one of these places to go to. Thankfully, there are guards nearby, but they're nowhere that close. So we have plenty of time to get all the stuff we want. We'll get those things last. And I know there is a guard by me, but whatever at this point, I'm just gonna run through. And yeah, it doesn't even notice me. So yeah, kinda sad time loss, but that's just what happens in Thief Simulator. Look, it is a difficult game, and at least we're making it out. Only one more mission to go. I also love how we drive through this field. Kind of fun. But we're gonna stop by the pawn shop. Because I've noticed in this run, sometimes you have just barely not enough money. So what we're gonna do is sell one of our cinema cameras. Then we'll go ahead, we can upgrade our electronics. I want to make sure I actually get this explosive, and we'll come to the computer. Now, I knew from a previous run we have an extra cinema camera, and it's worth $5,000, so I can sell that. Then we're coming to Black Bay, where we're going to get a ton of profit from all this other stuff, and we can come to a lot of this stuff, the wallets and that software. And then lastly, I also want to get the Hacking Laptop Pro, and that's just a better form of the hacking laptop, so it's going to be nice for this last mission, where we're finally getting our revenge against the Lombardis. So we learned that their house is 304, and we learned what we need to do, which is planting some evidence against them, and then we're also going to literally blow up their house. So that's our objective. Now, before anything else, I will put this on the quick slot, and the reason you needed the Hacking Laptop Pro is because it has a bigger range than the regular hacking laptop. So when we use this, we can just barely reach their security systems and actually get in here. Now with this, just like usual, I'll pay attention to any people by here. There is going to be this guard. We can mark him. And yeah, another time waiting and just staring at this guy. Also going to be that security camera. It feels like they should put two of them, so there's not just a big opening in between, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Now I can actually come in here. And we're just going to be staying by the left side of this building so we don't get attacked by any guards or by any cameras. And now the first thing we want to do is plant this evidence. So I'm going to mark that camera for later, and then we have to open up this, just another one of these hacking systems. And we'll come into this garage, we'll plant the evidence right there. Then the pool is a pretty safe place to be. It only has that one security camera, but all I want to make sure I do is not get caught by these guards. So unlike last time, I will not be rushing this part at all. We will be crouching whenever we need to and just making sure that these dudes do not capture us. So I should have opened that slowly, but I think we're fine because it was just barely not enough noise for that not to matter. So we're going to plant those explosives, and I really like living dangerously, I guess. Now, as long as I just make it out of here and get over to the detonation spot, that can end off the run. So I just have to be careful. Finally, we're out of their range and I can run away. And now the end of this run is also kind of fun because what you get to do is come on top of this guy, and then we're going to get on this huge gate, this huge wall that the Lombardis have made, and we're going to run across it, which is kind of fun. We just keep jumping and I'm having a good time. And then finally, all we have to do is make it over to that yellow marker. And as soon as we do, it's going to start the final cutscene where our dude is just walking away and the house explodes behind him. We got our revenge. And we ended off with a time of 1:21:15, which is going to be second place on the speedrun leaderboards. And I'll take it. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.